The governor's proposed budget also covers security measures outlined in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas public safety law. Phil Buck is breaking that down for you tonight.
Well, thanks, Allison. I mean, earlier we talked to you about some of the ways that schools might harden the look or their facilities physically on campus against an active shooter. But one of the other mandates that came out of the Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Act was the presence of like a school resource officers or guardians on school campuses. Part of that law established what we know as the Coach Aaron Feist Guardian Program, which allows trained staff to carry guns on campus. But a lot of districts decided not to adopt that program. Lawmakers originally set aside $67 million for it, but last year only $10 million got spent. So let's go back to school. We'll do a little subtraction here. I'm pre-Common Core, so I do the old school subtraction here, but that leaves $57 million still sitting on the table and available to schools. So Governor Ron DeSantis, as part of his proposed budget, he wants to roll that $57 million over to the next year so it can still be used for the Guardian program. And schools, keep in mind, they can't use that money on resource officers. The Stoneman Douglas Commission found resource officers and law enforcement are not sufficient when it comes to responding to situations like this. They specifically said, if I can get this thing to work here, that you have to use guardians, all right? Now this month, rather last month, the commission said you got to use guardians. DeSantis, he also wants districts to have more flexibility in how they spend their security money. He said last week that different schools have different needs, and he wants each different district to have more autonomy in terms of how they spend those security dollars. Every district I talked to today said they really appreciate that flexibility, even if it isn't enough to cover all their security needs. And keep in mind, this is all just a proposed budget for now. It still needs to be approved by the legislature. Their session starts March 5th. Mark it on your calendars.